Welcome everyone. We have been discussing about the preparation of trading profit and loss account and balance sheet on the basis of accounting information and accounts that are prepared by a business concern who were following single entry system. And we have been discussing some of the important adjustments with regard to that. Let us continue the same. Next case. Mr. Anil, a small manufacturer, gives you the following information: discount received during the year, check collected from debtors, expenses paid in cash, cash purchases, cash withdrawal 1600, total sales 70,300, bad debts during the year and drawings by check, cash withdrawals from bank, check paid to creditors, expenses paid through check, discount allowed, cash collection from debtors, and cash in hand. So from the initial analysis we can understand that these are the cash transactions done by Mr. Anil during the year. Again, cash deposit into bank, rent paid by check, cash paid to creditors, interest received cash 300, payment received and discount credited to debtors 63,000. So these are the transactions, cash transactions or bank transactions done by Mr. Anil during the financial year. Apart from that, you have been given some of the opening and closing dates of various items. Machinery opening balance, closing is given. So from this date itself you can understand that this is the opening balance, this is the closing balance. Furniture is also given. See, here one date is given, 31/12/2015 is opening, 31/12/2016 is closing, and here cash in hand in bracket 31/12/2016. So as per the details here given, we can understand that this one is the closing cash balance. Debtors, no opening balance, only closing balance. Creditors, both the amounts is given, cash and bank balance, outstanding expenses, stock 9,100 and 10,300. You are asked to prepare trading profit and loss and balance sheet for 31/12/2016. Even though this looks like a similar pattern which we have discussed previously, the thing is that if you go through the transactions, especially the cash transactions during the year, in frequent cases it is mentioning like cash withdrawals, cash purchases, cash collected from debtors, cash deposited into the banks. So if you go through the transaction, you can see that there are cash transactions and at the same time there are bank transactions. See, check, the drawings by check, check paid to creditors, rent paid by check, cash deposit into bank, cash collections from bank. See, if you go through the transactions, you can see that there are some cash transaction and there are some bank transactions also. And in the opening closing balance it is mentioned that cash and bank balance is a certain amount is given. So in this case, apart from preparing a cash account, you have to prepare a bank account. So you may think that why we need to prepare a bank account without the opening and closing balance of a bank? Because here it is given cash and bank, it's a common balance is given, including cash and bank, opening and closing is given. So why we have to prepare a separate account, or why we have to separate the transactions as cash transactions and bank transactions? The reason is, even if the cash and bank balance is given in as a single figure, that is opening figure and closing figure, just go through the transactions. If there is a numerous transactions, that differentiating one set as bank transactions and another set as cash transactions. If such a pattern of details is given, surely you have to prepare cash and bank. That is a concept, remember it. So let us go to the preparation of various ledger accounts, because in order to prepare trading profit and loss account, balance sheet, definitely you have to prepare some ledger accounts. So let us go through the preparation of various ledgers. First of all, let us begin with the question pattern which we have discussed now is given here. So let us begin with cash book, and I have mentioned that since the transactions done by Mr. Anil comprises of bank transactions as well as cash transaction, because in frequent cases you can see that transactions made by check or it may be made through bank is given. So we have to prepare a cash book. Cash book means combined cash book. As we have learned about these things in our +1 class, where you will be learning subsidiary books, where in the under cash book you might have learned a concept regarding preparation of cash and bank in a same account. This is a 2-column cash book that consists of cash and bank. If you go through the +1 accounting text, you will understand that concept. Whenever there is only one amount, it is known as cash book, single column cash book. If there is cash and bank, it is known as double column cash book. If there is 3 columns, some situation you might include another one column also apart from cash and bank, that is discount. That is known as 3-column cash book. Right now we are discussing only cash and bank case. So under cash book itself you will bring cash as well as bank. So let us begin with various transactions done during the year. So first one, discount receipt will not come because it is a certain discount that is provided by the creditor to us. It doesn't have any sort of cash transaction. Next one, expenses paid in cash. So before that, let us write down the balances given here. Here the closing balance of cash in hand, that is 31/12/2016. From the opening closing balance statement you can see that this is the date representing closing. So cash in hand on closing date is 3,400. So write down 3,400 in the cash column of the credit side. And next one, 2,500. How did we wrote 2,500 in the bank column? Because there are no such information like 2,500 in the question. If you go through all the single values, you can see that there is no information regarding 2,500. Then how did we found that the closing balance of bank during 31/12/2016 was 2,500? That is thing that you have to keep in mind while dealing with preparation of trading profit and loss account. You have to read the question very wisely and you have to be very cautious regarding each figures and values. See, in the question, cash in hand closing is given, but at the same time you can see that cash and bank balance during the period opening closing is given. So right now we are dealing closing. So cash and bank combined closing amount is 5,900, but cash in hand closing is given 3,400. So total cash and bank is 5,900. Out of 5,900, 3,400 is cash. So the balance will be definitely bank balance. So this is how you have to identify and understand hidden informations. From this point also we can understand that you have to prepare 2 columns, cash and bank, because cash and bank opening closing balance is given, but in the transactions it is specifically mentioned that cash in hand on closing date is 3,400. Why they have to give such an information like that? Otherwise they could have given opening and closing balance alone, but here it is mentioned that closing total amount is 5,900. Out of 5,900, cash balance is 3,400. So the balance difference amount will be 2,500. So this is how you have to analyze and understand the details given in the question. Sometimes it may be directly specified in the question, sometimes it may not mention in the question, but it is up to your logical analysis. You need to identify these hidden informations. Okay, so we write down the closing balances. Next, let us deal with the various transactions with regard to cash and bank. Okay, and now you can see that there are certain details written in a orange color marked paper. So before we go into these details, let us go through another important aspect that has to be considered. Actually, that doesn't have to be written now, but for the time being, since it is of great importance and it is a new variety of adjustment in this question, so we have to deal that first. In the question, if you go through it, you can see that payment received and discount credited to debtors. Payment received and discount credited to debtors. And that amount is 63,000. And in the question, if you go through the further details in the question, you can see that payment received or check collected from debtors is 41,000. And if you go further into the details given below, you can see that again discount allowed is 800. So the thing is, here these three items are interrelated, because here it is mentioned that payment received and discount credited to debtors is 63,000. So 63,000 was the amount that has to be paid by the debtors to the Anil. This is the actual amount that has to be paid by the debtors. And in the question it is mentioned, and here it is specifically mentioned that discount is also has to be adjusted in this amount. That is the meaning. Payment received and discount credited to debtors is 63,000. So this 63,000 is the total amount, and within that certain amount of discount has been adjusted. So from that you need to understand that from 63,000, how can you know that a certain amount of discount was adjusted? If such a sentence is mentioned here, definitely you have to identify what is the amount of discount. Otherwise, they should not have to give such a detail regarding discount credited to debtors. Instead of, they could have given payment received 63,000. But instead, it is mentioned that discount credited to debtors. So 63,000 is the total amount that was to be paid by debtors to Anil, and it was settled after a certain amount of discount. So you need to identify how much is the amount of discount. So for that, you need to go through all the transactions with regard to debtors. So if you go through each individual item, you can see that, see, cash collected from debtors 21,200. So one amount we got, just go through, we again go all transactions. Discount allowed 800. Usually discount is allowed to debtors. So this was that amount that is mentioned here, discount credited. This amount has to be adjusted. Next one, check pay drawings total. The C, check collected from debtors 41,000. So here it is another adjustment. Just keep in mind, whenever such a sentence like this is mentioned in the question, go through all the transactions with regard to debtors. So now we have found one amount, that is 21,200 in the form of cash payment by debtors, and another transaction with the debtors is 41,000 that is paid in the form of check, bank transaction, and finally the amount of discount 800. So now you have to take together all these three amount and make sure you are getting 63,000. That is the explanation given here. See, payment received from debtors is 63,000 and discount allowed to NUB is 800. That is given in the question. So the net amount of cash a debtors has to pay to Anil is 62,200. That is in the form of cash and bank. This 62,200 is mentioned like this: bank payment made by debtors through check, that is through bank, is 41,000. See, 41,000. and payment made by debtors by way of cash is 21,200. See, if you add these two amounts, you will get 62,200, and if you adjust this 800, you will definitely get the total amount 63,000. See, actually this information should have been given in the question. Instead, they are giving hidden information to confuse you. So it is your duty to think logically and identify each individual item that are related. So the entry with regard to that will be like this. Whenever you receive a amount from debtors, it will be cash account debtor to debtors. But in this question, there are cash transaction, bank and discount. So the entry will be cash account debtor 41,000, bank account debtor 21,200, discount account debtor 800, to debtor 63,000. So this is the information that is given in a mere sentence like this. See, payment received and discount credited to debtor 63,000. It is another important adjustment. Just keep in mind, whenever such a situation comes, you need to do it like this. I hope you understand the concept. Total amount that has to be paid by the debtors to Anil is 63,000, and it is mentioned that the discount has been adjusted and discount amount is given. So when discount amount is given, the balance will be the payment amount, and it is given in the form of cash payment and bank payment. So we just identified all the amounts and bring together. That is the concept. It's very easy. In the question it is mentioned total amount paid by the debtors to Anil, and we just identify what are the amount paid and what is the amount of discount. So that is the concept. Now we need to record this journal entry in the respective accounts. So in the respective accounts means you have to record this transaction in cash column, bank column. We are not going to prepare discount account, so don't worry. Debtors column, see, debtors also there. So let us write down these details in the respective columns. So cash account debtor to debtors 21,200 in the cash column, and bank it is 41,000 in cash column. So it is like that. Just a slight change in the amount. All the concepts and the computations are same, just a change in the amount. So bank amount was 41,000. So bank amount is 41,000, cash amount is 21,200. There is a slight change in the amounts. So first of all, we wrote down the 21,200 in the cash column and 41,000 in the bank column. So we have completed these two sides. Next, you need to adjust these transactions in the debtors account, because these are the two accounts which we are going to prepare: cash account and total debtors account. So total debtors account, the entry will be like this: in the debtors account, by cash 21,200, by bank 41,000, by discount allowed 800. So this is how you have to deal with. Since it is an important adjustment and it is a new adjustment with apart from the cases which we have discussed previously, that is why we have written down these details at first. Now let us go through each individual details given in the question. Next one, expense paid in cash. See, here expense paid in cash is 3,100. So since we are preparing a 2-column cash book, make sure whether there are any sort of expenses paid by bank also. You can either write by expenses 3,100, and see here 3,600 is also there. In order to avoid an extra transaction, extra entry, we are writing down similar transaction so that the respective amounts will be shown in the corresponding columns. So expenses paid in cash 3,100. Make sure whether there are any more expenses paid in the form of check. So if you go through it, you can see that expenses made through check. So see, both the cases it will be expenses. One is made through cash, other is made through bank. Either you can write by expenses 3,100, and in the next line again by expenses 3,600 in the bank column. In order to avoid an extra entry, we can write by expenses 3100 in cash column and 3600 in bank column. We can do like that. If you have any confusion regarding that, don't worry, don't write 3600 here. Next line again, by expenses, cash column it will be nil, in the bank side write 3600. You can follow any method. If you have any queries regarding 2-column cash book, just go through the accounts book of +1 classes. Still, if there is any query persists, please contact me. So expenses paid in cash and also expenses paid through check. Make sure since it is a 2-column cash book, we can write down similar transaction in a single entry itself, so as to save time and save paper and ink. That is the concept. There is no other rules regarding that. Next one, cash withdrawals. So cash withdrawal means from where can we withdraw cash? Definitely we can withdraw cash from a bank. So whenever we withdraw cash from a bank, it will be cash account debited to bank. So the entry will be a different type. Thing is, you will be recording the same transaction in both the sides, because we are preparing a 2-column cash book that consists of cash and bank. So whenever cash withdrawn from the bank, the entry will be cash account debited to bank. So 1600. See, cash withdrawal from the bank is 1600. Here the question it is mentioned that Mr. Anil is a small manufacturer, gives you the following information. And see, cash withdrawal 1600. It's just a variety of adjustment in a sole proprietorship concern. Whenever there is a cash withdrawal, without mentioning the purpose, you can consider it as drawings. It is another form of transaction. You can either consider it as a drawings, or you can consider it as a cash account debited to bank. Likewise, since it is a sole proprietorship concern, you can consider it as a drawings. Otherwise, you can consider it as a cash transaction. It depends upon the pattern which you are following. It doesn't affect your computations. So remember, since it is a sole proprietorship concern, Mr. Anil withdraw cash, but it is not mentioning anything about the purpose of the drawings, purpose of the withdrawal. So we can assume that this cash withdrawals is a drawings. So while writing down any of the transaction with regard to 2-column cash book, make sure whether there are any further drawings in the form of cash or in the form of bank, especially in the form of bank. So just go through each transactions. You may think that cash withdrawals from bank, again amount coming. In a question, cash withdrawals 1600, and another cash withdrawal from bank 5100. It will not come like this. If it was a drawings, the 5100 should have been added with 1600. They will not give as 2 separate amounts. So we can consider this as drawings, and we can consider this as another sort of transaction. Next one, go through any of the transactions that representing drawings. See, drawings by check 4400. Since this cash withdrawal and this drawing from check is of similar nature, we can write as by drawings for cash side 1600 and for bank side 4400. So this is how you have to deal with withdrawals. If there is no specification regarding the purpose of the withdrawal, we can assume it as drawings. Even if you consider it as a bank transaction or a cash transaction, it doesn't affect your computation. Next one, cash withdrawals from bank. Since already we have consumed this cash withdrawal as drawings, you need not have to again assume this one as drawings. Otherwise, it should have been specifically mentioned in the question. So whenever you withdraw cash from bank, the entry will be as the entry which I have mentioned previously, cash account debited to bank. So the entry will be in cash. This is a 2-column cash book, so it will be by cash 5100, and in here to bank 5100. So you don't get confused. It is a two-column cash book consisting of cash and bank. So whenever you withdraw amount from bank, the entry will be cash account debited to bank. In the entry, both the debit aspect and the credit aspects are cash and bank. Since we are preparing a cash and bank in a single double column cash book, you have to show both the transactions in this account. So whenever there is a transaction that comes in the both sides, see, whenever you withdraw cash from bank, the entry will be cash account debited to bank 5,100 and as considered as a cash book. Since it is a two-column cash book, it also consists of bank, so you need to consider this account in cash sense as well as in bank sense also. So in cash sense, the entry will be cash account debited to bank 5,100. In bank sense, it will be by cash 5,100 in bank column. See, one is in the cash column, another is in the bank column, because whenever you withdraw money from your bank, cash balance is increased. So entry will be cash account debited to bank. The amount will, since there is an increase in the amount of cash, it is shown in the debit side. And what is the status of the bank? There is a decrease in the bank balance, not cash balance, bank balance. So you have to show the amount in the credit side of bank column. And there is a peculiar name given for this type of transactions. These are known as contra entries. You might have learned about this in your smaller classes. A transaction consists of both cash and bank transactions alone. Both debit aspect and credit aspect is cash and bank transactions. It is considered as contra entries. And if you are following a cash book with two-column cash book, definitely you have to write down the contra entry. While you have learned the subsidiary book situation in your +1 classes, you might have learned about a separate column in this account so as to specify contra entries in the form of a capital letter C. Since it is a part of preparation of trading profit and loss account, you need not have to show contra entries. Okay, next one. Cash deposited into bank 16,100. See, it is also a similar type of transaction which we have discussed now. Earlier we discussed cash withdrawal from bank. Now it is cash deposited into bank. The same pattern, the only difference is our bank balance is increased, our cash balance is decreased, because we have deposited the amount which was in our hand to the bank. So the bank balance is increased and the cash balance is decreased. So the entry will be bank account debited to cash. So considering this book as cash book and as well as a bank book, we will write down, if it is a bank book, bank account debited to cash, where the amount has increased in the bank. So 16,100 in the bank column. And we have to consider this book as a cash book also. So whenever you consider this as a cash book, there is a decrease in the amount of cash. So the entry was bank account debited to cash. So if you are considering this book as a cash book, it will be written as by bank 16,100 in the cash column. Similar pattern which we have discussed previously. Earlier it was collected withdrawn from the bank. Now it is deposited in the bank. Only the change in the flow of money. So it is also another contra entry. I hope you understand the concept. Let us go to next one. Cash paid to creditors. So as I have mentioned earlier, make sure whether there is any sort of payment to creditors through any other mode. So 7,100, go through, see, check paid to creditors. So instead of writing down two entries separately, why don't write down these two amounts in a single entry? Because both are payments made to creditors. So instead of writing two creditors, you can write down one creditor and write down both amounts in respective columns. So whenever you make payments to creditors, it will be creditors account debited to cash or bank. So in the cash book, cash or bank book, it will be by creditors. In the cash, 7,100, because 7,100 was payment made through cash, and 52,900 was payment made by bank or through bank. And a check collector from collector we have already adjusted cash purchases 2200. So whenever there is a purchase, it will be purchases account updated to cash. So in the cash book it will be by purchase. Since it was made through cash, we will write 2200 in the cash column. Next one, total sales. It will not come in cash book because total sales means sum of the total of cash sales and credit sales. Next one, drawings by check. We have already recorded. Check paid to creditors also recorded. Discount allowed will not come here. Cash in hand also written. Rent paid by check. So whenever we pay rent, the entry will be rent account updated to what is the mode? Through check. So rent account updated to bank in the bank book or cash book. Here it is a 2-column cash book, so we can assume cash book or bank book. So in the bank book it will be by rent and it was made through bank, so 4000 in the bank column. And next one, interest received in the form of cash 300. So whenever we receive interest, it will be cash account debtor to interest. So to interest 300 by what means? Through cash. So 300 in cash column. So right now we have recorded almost all the details, and the balancing of this account is of great importance because it is quite tricky. So write down what is the status of cash and bank. You can see that so balancing, I have mentioned, you have to be very cautious. Cash, bank, these are the two columns you have to balance. And until previous case, we have been discussing or preparing cash book. Why we were preparing cash book? Either to find the closing balance or to find the opening balance, and either to find cash sales. So in this question, closing balance is already given. So do we have to find opening balance? That need not have to be the issue with regard to preparation of cash book, 2-column cash, because in this question already opening balance is given. See, 18,400. So by any means you can identify the opening balance of cash and bank also. So what is the purpose of cash book in this question? Definitely it will be to identify cash sales. So that is the general concept. So before we go into the balancing together, first of all let us deal with the easiest part, because this account is mainly prepared to identify cash sales. That is the main purpose. Since it has a bank column also, here the bank side or bank column is prepared to identify the opening bank balance. And why we are to find the opening balance at the first means we will discuss that. Okay. See, there are no further adjustment with regard to bank side, because all the adjustments is with the cash, because cash book is prepared to find cash sales. But in order to find cash sales, we need the opening balance. So let us begin with the bank column, because there are no further adjustment with the bank. So we will first of all solve bank column side. After that we will go for cash column. So first of all, if you add the totals or amounts of both the bank columns alone, you can see that this side will have a bigger total value compared to this one. So take the total of this side, you will get 72,500. So here also write down 72,500, and if you add these two amounts, you will definitely not get 72,500. So there is a certain amount as balance. So we can assume that that amount is the opening balance of bank. I hope you are getting the point. We have taken the total, write down the total here. We just taken the balance, just like a usual pattern of balancing an account. We got 15,400. So in the question, cash and bank balance opening is 18,400. That is together as the total balance of cash and bank, out of which bank balance is 15,400. So what is the cash balance? Definitely the difference between 18,400 and 15,400, because opening balance of Cashfund Bank is 18,400. That is given in the question. If we deduct 15,400 as per our computation now, that is a bank balance, we can easily get the cash balance. That is 18,400 minus 15,400, you will get 3,000. So now we have the opening balance of cash. Now we can easily find out the cash sales during the year. See, as usual, take the total of both sides. You can see that this one will have in the highest value, that is 33,500. So write down the amount here also, 33,500. If you take the difference between these sides, means this amount and 33,500, you will get a difference. That difference is cash sales during the year. Actually, this is cash sales during the year. Here it is written cash balance. Don't worry, it is cash sales during the year, because cash book is prepared to identify cash sales. So this is a important adjustment that consists of many alterations and additions that has to be considered. So just go through all the items which we have discussed now. So this is the pattern of 2-column cash book. This is how you have to deal with whenever you come across a question where when bank transactions and cash transactions are given simultaneously. So go through all these items. Next, let us prepare total debtors account. Already we have prepared the account because we have to write down these transactions at the beginning. That is why we have written or prepared the total debtors account. Now, let us write down the opening balance and closing balance. Since opening balance is not there, we can write down the closing balance around 16,000. Now, just go through all the transaction. Is there anything that related to debtors? See, bad debt written off 600. Bad debt means a reduction in the value of debtors, so it has to be shown in the debtors account. So it will be by bad debt 600. Now go through all these items whether there are any transaction related to debtors. Cash paid to debtors we already recorded. Payment received from debtors already adjusted. 41,000 recorded. Discount allowed also recorded. So we have recorded all the items. Now we need to find the opening balance. So before we need to find the opening balance, in the question it is mentioned that total sales during the year. See, 17,300. So total sales means cash sales plus credit sales. And just now we have computed the amount of cash sales. So total sales is this one and cash sales is this one. So the amount of credit sales will be the difference between these two amounts. That is total sales minus cash sales, you will get credit sales. So we have got one more item to credit sales, 66,400. Now you can balance these two sides so as to get the opening balance of debtors account. See, in previous cases you were given opening balance as well as closing balance so as to identify credit sales. But in this question, credit sales amount is indirectly given so as to identify opening balances. So right now you need to balance this account. Take the total. This side is having bigger value 79,600. So show the same amount this side also. Take the difference between 79,600 and 66,400. You will get opening balance. So in the question, if the opening balance of debtors is not given, make sure whether there are other informations given. If it is there, then you can find the opening balance. Next one, total creditors account. In the question itself, the creditors opening balance and closing balance is given. So just write down opening balance is 6,200, closing balance is 9,700, and go through the transactions. If there are any transaction related to creditors, write down in the concerned creditors account. See, cash paid to creditors. sorry, discount received, first one item, so this one, discount received 2600. After that, cash paid to creditors 7100. Just go through each item. Whether check paid to creditors 52900, and there are no further details regarding that, so just balance these two sides. You can see that 72,300 is a total of debit side. Show the same amount in the other column also. Here it is only 6,200, so the balance amount will be the credit purchases during the year. So we have successfully completed 3 ledger accounts, and next one you have to prepare is statement of affairs, otherwise known as opening balance sheet or balance sheet as on opening date. You can give any name as you like. So liabilities, assets, but it is better to prefer statement of affairs as on 31/12/2015. So let us write down all the details that is specified on the opening date. First one is cash balance 3000. You can see that cash balance is 8400 given in the question, but we already found out the cash balance as bank balance, so we can write down like that. Cash balance is 3000, bank balance is 15400. Instead of that, if you have written 18400, also your answer is correct, but since we already found out the two different amounts, we can write down like that. After that, debtors account closing balance is opening balance is 13,200. Write down that amount because it was the amount that was missing in the question. We have found out using the total debtors account. Next one, creditors opening balance is 6,200, and after that go through the details given here. Machinery 5,800 opening balance. After that, debtors we return, cash and bank also return. Stock 9,100. Next one, furniture 3,300. Creditors we already recorded, and finally outstanding expenses 600. And we all know the pattern of preparing opening statement of affairs. It will not get a tally amount. Take the total of both sides. This one means a bigger value, show it in the total side. Here also show the same amount, and if you take the difference between 49,800 and these two amounts, you will get the opening capital balance during the year. So right now we have prepared almost all the missing ledger accounts. So now we can go for the preparation of trading profit and loss account. Trading profit and loss account as on closing date, that is 31/12/2016 is given, and we all know how to begin a trading account. It begins with opening stock 19,100, and closing stock is also given in the question 10,300. Write down both amounts. Now let us write down sales during the year and purchases during the year. So first one, to purchases. In the question we have cash purchases 22,200, and by preparing total creditors account we have credit purchases 66,100. So write down these two amounts. After that, next you need to adjust sales. Total sales is 70,300, that is the amount here written here, and 70,300 means cash 3,900 and credit 66,400. This is the computation which we have found by preparing the accounts. 17,300 is already given in the question. So just go through all the details, make sure whether there are any more trading items. So right now we have recorded all the details relating to trading transactions. So let us balance this account. By adding this side, you will get 80,600. Show the same amount here also. If you take the difference between 18,600 and 68,300 and 9,100, you will get gross profit during the year. Since it is here, this side was a deficit balance, you are showing gross profit carried out. Next, you need to prepare profit and loss account. For that, you need to start with gross profit during the year. So we will brought down the balance to the next side. by gross profit brought down 3200. Now go through all the transactions that are relating to profit and loss account. First one, discount received 2600 recorded, expenses paid in cash already recorded, bad debts written off 600. So before that, expenses, see in the question it is said that expenses 3100, but there is an adjustment with regard to expenses, that is outstanding expenses 600 and 900. I hope you know how to deal with an outstanding expenses, opening outstanding and closing outstanding. So expenses, there are two types of expenses, 3100 and 3600. So write down both the amounts, less closing outstanding and add opening outstanding. You will get the expenses paid during the year. So this is how you have to adjust the expenses side. After expenses, next let us write down bad debts. Bad debts during the year is 600. Next, discount allowed, $800. Next one, rent paid 4000. Next one, discount received 2600. Interest received 300. Next one, depreciation on machinery. Here it is mentioned that the machinery opening balance and closing balance is 5800 and 4800. And in the question there is no information regarding depreciation on machinery. So how did we found out that depreciation on machinery is 1000? It is just a logical understanding, because usually machinery, the opening and closing balance, make sure whether there are sufficient amount of difference in between these two amounts. 5800 and 4800, there is only a small change of rupees 1000. So we can assume that 1000 represents depreciation on machinery. That is just an assumption. Whenever there is a difference, a small difference in the fixed assets, we will assume that that difference is a depreciation during the year. So here also opening balance is 5800, closing balance is 4800. Since the difference is a minute difference, we can assume that it is a depreciation during the year. So we have recorded almost all the items given in the question. Now take the balance of this account, take the total of both sides. You can see that this side is having a bigger value. See, if you add together all these, you will get 13,400 here. Show the same amount here also. Make sure if there is any difference or not. Here 3200, 2600, 300. If you add these three amounts, you will not get 13,400. So there is a difference. That difference is net loss during the period. So sometimes you come across a question where you might end up with net loss. It doesn't mean that you have to always get net profit for your answer. Sometimes there will be net loss. So whenever there is a loss situation, it will be like this. It will be in the credit column by net loss transferred to capital account. Even if it is a profit or loss, you have to adjust the same amount with the capital. So this is how you have to prepare a trading profit and loss account. Next one, preparation of balance sheet. Balance sheet as on 31/12/2016. So for that, let us begin with any pattern. First of all, we have prepared cash book. Here the opening and closing is there. Closing cash balance is 3,400 and 2,500. So write down these two amounts. After that, we have prepared debtors account. Debtors account total closing balance is 16,000. Next, the account which we have prepared is creditors account. Creditors account balance is 9,700. All these amounts are there in the respective accounts. If not, you can go through the opening closing balances stated in the question. Next account which we have prepared is, it is not an account, it is a statement, that is balance sheet, opening balance sheet. It is prepared to identify opening capital. So we will begin with opening capital 43,000. From that you need to deduct drawings. So there is a certain adjustment with regard to drawings, because here drawings are made by check and also by cash. So you have to show both amounts. One is 1,600, another is 4,400. So total amount is 6,000. After that you need to deduct loss. Since it is a loss amount, we have deducted. If it was profit amount, we could have added the same amount in the capital. So you will get the capital during the period. So this is the final capital. Next, go through the various items stated here. Next one, machinery 4,800, but there is a depreciation amount, so it has to be shown here. See, we already adjusted here. And one more thing, don't deduct this depreciation 1,000 from 4,800. It is a mistake, because 4,800 is the final amount of machinery which we have obtained with an assumption that there is a depreciation 1,000. So it is already an adjusted amount, so show only 4,800. And here we are just showing the how we got the 4,800. That is the concept which is shown here. So to closing balance is 4,800. Never deduct 1,000 from 4,800. It will be a mistake. But in the previous question, we have made adjustment like this. From the closing balance, we have deducted depreciation. In that case, the depreciation was the amount which we have found out separately. But here it is the assumption that the change in the opening and closing balance was done or made because of the depreciation during the year. That is why we are not showing anything here. Just a usual understanding that from opening balance deduct 1,000, you will get 4,800. Don't mix the depreciation adjustment which we have done in the previous cases with the case which we are discussing now. It is another case. Next one, debtors. We already adjusted. Cash and bank already adjusted. Stock, closing stock is 10,300. Next one, furniture 3,300. Creditors is already recorded. Outstanding expenses. Closing balance is 9,900. Show there. So we have recorded all the details specified in the question, and also we have adjusted all the amounts which has been obtained by preparing various specific ledger accounts and statement. Now take the total of both sides. You will definitely get the tally amount. Here it is 40,300 and 40,300. So this is how you have to deal with a practical case where single entry details are converted into a double entry pattern. So just go through all these cases. What are the steps which we have prepared? Be very cautious while dealing with similar pattern of question. Go through all the steps which we have discussed, or various adjustments which we have made, and various special assumptions which we have made. Just make sure why we have followed various steps and why we have made various assumptions, and what are the situations in which those assumptions has to be made. Just go through all those aspects, familiarize each cases, understand these steps. So just go through it. We will discuss further cases with separate different adjustment regarding preparation of final accounts from the single entry details. If you have any queries, please let me know. We will discuss about the further cases in the next session.